Today we're going to talk about trolls, not the cute kinds in Harry Potter that just stick a wand up their nose, but the really hateful, nasty people on the internet who are going to try to keep you from having a voice and from helping other people and being your best self. Tara Jacobson, Marketing Artfully and Artsy Fartsy Life. So today I want to talk about trolls and what they are and what you should do about them. And trolls are the people on the internet that will come to your anything you do. So if you're making videos, if you're doing a podcast, if you are on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, and you're posting yourself anywhere, there are people that will come on and they're just nasty, nasty people. They'll say something on a video like this, and I'm sure I'll get lots of these. They'll say something on a video like this, like, you're ugly and you're fat and I don't know why you're talking and you shouldn't even be allowed to be alive, let alone, making my life horrible by making a video. And they really do that. And it makes me sad because it scares people from being willing to put themselves out there, because who wants to be, told horrible things about themselves? So number one, they're pretty good at figuring out what would trigger you, right? So if you have a big nose, they're going to say that you have a big nose. If you stutter, they're going to be like, ooh, okay? So they are nasty, nasty people. And so the first thing is to know is they're just trying to get a reaction from you or your followers. So if you pay any attention to them, then they win. So you don't want to do that. Just ignore them completely. And we'll talk about what you should do, because I think there's a lot of questions about that. But ignore them completely. If your followers start to pile on them, which they'll do, the unfortunate thing about these people is that just makes them happier. That being able to now taunt not only you, but then your friends and your family, and woo, that's really exciting, being able to be mean to more people. So don't talk to them ever, not one word. Number two, you need to remember that these are just incredibly sad people. Their lives are empty except for this form of interaction that they have found gets people to talk to them. But think about it. If you were to spend all day doing nothing but trying to get people to interact with you by just being hurtful and terribly cruel, then that is not somebody that is living their best life. They just truly aren't. And so the thing to remember is you are never going to change their mind. There is nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do, because this isn't actually about you and what they've said to you. This is about them and how unhappy they are in their life. So you're just a random stranger on the internet who happened to run across them. It is not somebody that you should take any time or use any of your energy on. Just ignore them completely. And then this is what you should do. And I delete their comment and I block them as a user if I can on the platform I'm on, right? So I know on my blog I can definitely block people. I don't have comments on many of my blog posts because of spam, not because of trolls. I've been very fortunate in my life. Maybe making this video, I am tempting fate and I will wind up with a whole bunch of trolls, but I hope not. And so block them and then delete their comments. It's very tempting, and you hear all the time, well, if somebody doesn't like something you're doing, then you really should listen. You should, be open to other people's opinions. Maybe they're noticing something that you aren't, especially as women. This is something like we're always really worried that, well, maybe I'm just being too sensitive. There's not a thing as too sensitive with trolls. Trolls are just nasty for nasty's sake. They are not saying these things to help you creatively. They're not trying to help you in any way, shape, or form. They are just being nasty and hateful and trying to get a reaction either from you or from your followers. So the answer to what to do with trolls is to block them. I would usually try to block them first and then delete their comments. So hopefully that helps. Tara Jacobson, get out there, do amazing things. I love the quote about the man in the arena. Brene Brown, who's excellent with information about vulnerability. So if you're looking, I'll put a link to one of my favorite interviews with her and Chase Jarvis here, which could help. But she's the one that said this, introduced me to it, and it's a quote from, I think it's Roosevelt who said it. And he said, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually does strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." So this is super important, you guys. If you're daring greatly, if you're putting yourself out there, there will be trolls. The other thing that you can do that is super easy is to just never look at your comments, which is, you know, like when you start anything, it's really good to look at your comments and to interact with people who are following you. But after you reach a certain level, when people really start to say, "Oh, she has some attention or authority here," that's when they're going to start coming out of the woodwork, because what they're doing is they're trying to capitalize on anything that you've achieved and then just hijack it for themselves. So I know this is kind of a long one, but this one really scares off a lot of people. My hope for you is that you just understand that these people are out there, that they're sad, sad people, and that you don't need to interact with them. The only thing you have to do is delete and block them. So, Tara Jacobson, marketing artfully, an artsy fartsy life.